Hello everyone, my name is Saraya and I do all the filming for my husband Terry, aka Stutzman52. If you like this video or any other video on Stutzman52 channel, click on the subscribe button, then click on the settings button. Check it off and then click on the save button. Now you'll be notified by email of any new video uploads for this channel. Thank you.
Next thing we're going to be putting on is this here engine mount bracket. 3 bolts here, 13 millimeter. This one here is going to be a T50. Longest bolt, if you remember, is going to be right up here, top left corner. That's how it's going to go in. 2 studs will be going up in here later. Alright, so let me get up under the car and let's get started. Alright guys, I'm putting this here bracket on from underneath. And I've just got it going around lightly, just snugging it up a little bit. Okay. I'm going to go after this Torque bolt down here, just to lightly snug it up. Okay. Alright, the torque setting on these bolts, all of them, is 37 foot-pounds or 50 Newton meters. So I'm going to be putting a torque wrench on these 4 bolts, and that's what I'm going to be setting it to. Alright, now this bolt right here was right up next to the frame rail. Remember, this is the longest bolt, so I couldn't get the socket down there on it. So I've jacked the engine up a little bit so that this bolt head will clear the top of this here frame rail. So now I should be able to get my torque wrench on there. And let's go ahead and torque them up. 37 foot-pounds. There he is. Okay, let's put our engine mount back in there. Let's get our bolts started. 3 bolts. The other one is behind these lines. Okay. 10 millimeter socket will fit these 3 bolts. You want to torque them up to 41 foot-pounds or 55 Newton meters. Okay, 41 foot-pounds. Alright, these 2 straps, we're going to sit them back on the stud. You go on first. You want to stick him on. I've got a new nut. Put him on. Okay. For this nut, 10 millimeter socket. Torque setting on that. 89 inch-pounds or 10 Newton meters. Done. Okay, now we're going to be putting on the Serpentine belt idler. I checked this one over real good. He's actually okay. Bearing is fine. Now what you want to do, now this here spacer, collar, whatever you want to call it, is threaded onto this here bolt. So you want to make sure that this goes up next to the race on the bearing. Take all the slack out. Okay, he feels good. Now let's put them on. Okay, the idler goes on the left side of the engine support bracket. You can see where I'm screwing it in right now. Okay, I'll catch you guys in the next shot once I get it threaded on down. Alright guys, this here bolt is a 13 millimeter socket. You ain't going to be able to get a socket in there. You're going to have to use a wrench. And I cannot get a torque wrench in there because I'd have to jack the engine probably 4 to 5 inches up, and I don't want to go that high with this engine. I don't want to damage the engine mount on the other side here. All right, but to give you an idea of the torque on this thing, it's going to be 35 foot-pounds or 45 Newton meters. So I'm just going to put a good tighten on this thing. What I believe might be 35 foot-pounds. Okay, that one's done. All right, we're going to be putting on the Serpentine belt tensioner. Now keep in mind that you do not have to take this off if you're just doing the timing belt. I'm replacing mine. There's the Motorcraft part number, and here is the new one. Okay, here's the 2 bolts for it. Okay, 10mm head will take care of that for you, socket. And I'm going to be screwing this in. This will be up here on the left side. Once we get it up there, then Saray will give you a shot where it's at. Okay, here's the Serpentine belt tensioner. There's one of the bolts. And that other bolt, you're not going to see it, but it's right up above this here idler right there. These 2 bolts, 10mm socket will fit it. At least the one on the bottom. Torque is going to be 18 foot-pounds or 25 Newton meters. Now the one on the bottom, you can get a torque wrench on there, which is what I'm doing right now. Okay, that one's torque. This one up on the top, there's no way you're going to get a socket in there. So I put a wrench on it, a box wrench, and I just snugged it up good. Like I said, both of them 18 foot-pounds. What we're going to be putting on is a water pump. This is a new water pump made by AC Delco. There's a part number. Comes with an O-ring.
Oh, shiny.
Okay. Metal impeller, just like the original. Okay, looks good. Going to be putting some super grease on the O-ring. That'll kind of help it slide in there a little bit easier. So we don't want this thing to roll over. Okay, and also I'm going to put a little bit up here in the bore where this is going to be fitting up in there. Just putting a little bit of super grease around in the bore, you know, where the O-ring is, so it can slide on in there easier. Also make sure this is cleaned up before you start putting this thing in there. Alright, let's go ahead and stick it in. A little depression right here should be at this location when you put it in. There's the 4 water pump bolts. Go ahead and screw those on in, hand tight. The water pump pulley bolt, the water pump bolts, 8mm socket to fit it. It'll be 89 inch-pounds or 10 Newton meters. Okay, go ahead and get your water pump pulley and go ahead and put your 3 bolts in. Just finger tight it. You don't want to tighten it yet. Now here's the connection for the knock sensor that would slid on there. So I'm going to see if we can just slide this thing down first. So it just sits right here on top of this here bracket. Okay, keep in mind that your knock sensor connector has got a little slide over here on the left side of this upper timing belt cover. Just go ahead and put it on. It'll sit right on top of the bracket here, engine mount bracket. Get your 4 bolts, go ahead and put them in. Don't tighten them up yet. Just kind of leave it loose. Just make sure that all 4 bolts are in there. And we'll get back to this one later. Okay, next we get our studs. They'll screw into the engine support bracket. I'm just putting a little bit of anti-seize on the threads here. Okay. Alright, go ahead and screw your 2 studs into the top of your engine mount bracket. Okay, an E10 socket to take care of this for you. Now the book says 25 foot-pounds, but with the torque wrench, this seems a little bit high. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm not gonna torque this thing all the way up like that. I'm just gonna snug it up. That's all I'm gonna do. I don't want this thing to strip out. Take your knock sensor. Be sure to slide him back onto the little connector that I showed you earlier on this here timing cover, so he'll lock in place. Now you want to get your engine mount cover. You have to twist it and set it on down over top of these 2 studs and just lower it down in there like so. Alright, down here we can see these nuts. Okay, that's one of them right there. 18 millimeter. Got a piece of tape. Push it inside. It'll be hard to get your fingers down in there, so we're going to screw that one down like so, if I can get it started. Okay, alright, he looks like he's there. Just finger it up. Oops. Get your bolt. Get him started. Okay. 2 nuts, 72 foot-pounds. Alright, there's one. There's another one. This bolt right here for the engine mount. 57 foot-pounds or 77 Newton meters. Alright. Get your ground wire. Slide it down on the stud on the right. Get your nut. Screw down over top of him. Okay, this nut's secure in the ground wire, 25 foot-pounds or 34 Newton meters. Okay, get your lower timing belt cover. You want to take this part here, you want to slide it up underneath your engine mount bracket, like so. Then come back. Get your bolts. This will be 2 of them. One bolt will go over here. And one bolt will go right in there. Okay, 8 millimeter socket will take care of this. This will be 62 inch-pounds or 7 Newton meters. That one's done. Let's check that one. And he's done. Okay, let's take out the crankshaft bolt. Let's get our crankshaft pulley. Got just a smidgen of oil in there. See if we can get it lined up. Snug fit, but he's a slip fit though.
Does it only go on one way?
Yep, because there's a keyway that's up here in the crankshaft pulley, so he has to slide up there on the key.
Gotcha.
Let me just wipe off this excess oil. Okay. Now, let's get our bolt. Just hand tighten them. We'll come back and snug them up later. Next we're going to be putting on the Serpentine belt. There is a part number for anyone interested. It's going to be difficult for showing you the routing around every one of these pulleys, so I'm going to just show you the layout right here so you can see what I'm going to be doing. I'm just going to start here at the crankshaft and just kind of work my way right on around, and then when I get to the tensioner, which is right here, then I'm going to pull the tensioner down, and then I'm going to slide it over, and then we should be set. Alright, I just got through pulling the tensioner over, and we got the belt on.
Alright.
Okay. This here tool really makes a difference here. First time when I took it off, I was using a longest wrench I had, and it was everything I could do. And then when I put this new tensioner on here, I knew it was time to get something else. So this helped out really well. Okay.
The right tool for the job, Terry.
Makes it a lot easier for sure.
Yeah, I remember trying to open a wine bottle with knitting needles. Right tool for the job.
And how did that work out?
Well, if you like corking, you are. I mean, yeah,
okay,
it's alright.
So you never got the cork out?
No, the cork got pushed in the bottle.
Oh, okay. Well, at least you got to your wine.
I did.
Okay. Alright. Alright, one last final shot up underneath. Everything should be done on this side other than putting the splash shield on. Now I think it looks a lot cleaner under there. Alright. Alright guys, what I'm going to do, I'm going to use that camshaft holder here, sprocket holder, and there's two holes up in here, so I got the pins, they're in there. I'm going to have Serraya to hold it, this here bolt. I'm going to torque it up to 85 foot-pounds. So got my torque wrench ready, so that's what we're going to do. That worked out really well, 85 foot-pounds of torque. So this is what you can see what I did. So like I said, you have a different assortment of pins here. So I grabbed that hole and grabbed this hole here. Okay, we got the 3 water pump pulley bolts. Torque on those is going to be 17 foot-pounds. 10mm wrench will fit it. You will not be able to get a socket up in there, therefore you can't torque it. So just get a wrench, torque it up, just snug it up good. That's what I'm going to do. Okay. We're going to go ahead and take the jacks out now. Lower this hydraulic jack.
And hopefully the engine won't drop.
If it does, we did something wrong.
Woohoo!
Alrighty, now we'll pull this mess out. Alright, let's get our dummy timing pin back in. I know somebody's going to say, hey, I lost mine. Do I really need it? No, you don't need it. If you don't mind your oil coming out of the engine,
then
let it blow up. No, you don't have to put it back in. Alright, so look, what I got is some Permatex high temperature thread sealant. So I'm just going to put a little bit on the threads. Just kind of keep this thing from, has a tendency to maybe leak oil. So that's just all we need, that's all. Okay. Now we're going to screw this thing back up in there. Alright, so take your pin, screw it back up in there. Alright, now let me get a socket here. Alright, you want to tighten that up to 18 foot-pounds. That stud. Screw this bolt out. Put that over that. Screw a bolt back in. Alright, these two bolts, again 13mm, one bolt, one nut. These will be torqued to 15 foot-pounds. Okay, guys, this time I'm tired, so let's take a break. Next video we'll continue. Guess we'll be working on the top of the engine. So we'll see you guys in the next one. Alright, take care.